Yeah, obviously a really disappointing evening for us collectively. I mean, it hurts a lot, that's for sure. It hurts a lot of all the players. It hurts the support staff, and I'm sure it's hurting the fans a lot as well. So, we're obviously really disappointed with the result and the performance tonight. I think we need to all have a hard look at ourselves individually about how we're going about it and look for ways to improve. There's certainly areas that we haven't done as well as we would have liked, or as certainly as we've planned to. But this is where it's a time that we've got to really stick tight together, keep working really hard, keep working on the things that we think are really important. There's a lot of talk about the style of our play and things like that, but the players we've got, we don't want to ask them to play in a completely different way that's natural to them. That they've got here to the IPL for playing really well in their way, and I'm certainly not one to try and get them to play in a different way. Like they play at their best because that's the way they play. So I still think we've got the right players, but we've just got to try and help them find some confidence and consistency, and then hopefully we can sort of grow and build from that. Whether that's with the bat, with the ball, in the field as well. We're certainly been below par in all three facets of the game. So, we're not out of it altogether. So we've got to keep, as I said, we've got to stick tight, identify the areas we can improve, and just get back on that horse as quickly as we possibly can. Things can turn around quickly. So if we start to fracture, if we start to change things too much, which has certainly not been a CSK trait in the past, then I think things can go worse before they get better. So, we'll need to do a bit of soul searching. It's quite raw at the moment, so it's hard to really speak to exactly what we want to do moving forward. I think we need to take some time to sort of sit back, think about it, review quite hard, and then hopefully come together and just look for those areas to improve on.
Hi Hussey. The first year after the mega auction is usually pretty challenging for teams. You have three good Indian middle order batters, but you haven't been able to get the kind of output which you probably got from the experienced guys like Raidu and previously. So how do you sort of get the best from these batters which you sort of spoke about?
Yeah, it's a good point. We've got some new players that have come to the franchise, so it does take a little bit of time for them to really fit in and feel like they belong. We're trying to fast track that as much as we can, and then it's just getting to know them and getting to know their games and how they play their best cricket as well. So we're working very hard behind the scenes with those guys, and the players are, you cannot fault their work ethic. They're doing the hard work, but unfortunately it just hasn't quite translated into performances just yet. But one of the real strengths of CSK over the years is we'll identify the players that we've wanted, and then we really back them in, even if things aren't quite going to plan at the moment. We'll back them in and keep working hard with them and keep showing some faith and trust in them, and then hopefully that will be repaid in the long run.
I understand your point, but there is a thing that some of the players that you have taken are probably past their prime. Like at least in the domestic circuit also, you have some young players also in the bench. Some they have been there for a while. So why is this reluctance to blooding youngsters?
I would argue that they're beyond their prime. I don't agree with that. We've had players in the twilight of their career come and play at CSK in the past. I think of Shane Watson, I think of Ajinkya Rahane, and they've performed really well for CSK. So I still think that the players that we've got still have some good cricket in front of them and can still offer us a lot. So I don't necessarily agree that they're beyond their best. I still think we can find their best and see some great performances from them. With regards to blooding youngsters, we want to pick guys when they're ready to perform as well. We've got some very good players that are waiting for their chance, no question about that. But sometimes I think when teams give up the ghost and think, we can't win the tournament anymore, we'll just try the youngsters now, give them a go. And we're still here to try and progress in the tournament as far as we can. We're certainly not putting the white flag up just yet. You only have to scrape into that fourth place, and big long tournament like the IPL, it is about momentum. Now certainly the momentum is not with us at the moment whatsoever. We haven't been playing good cricket consistently. We definitely acknowledge that, put our hands up and say that is fact at the moment. But that's not to say things can't turn around and can't turn around quickly. So that's what we're still hanging on to, and that's what we're working hard towards. And if we can change that momentum and get some confidence going and get a few wins on the board, the confidence will grow, and you never know, we might be able to scrape into one of those last positions in the table come playoffs time. And it's a long way ahead, and we certainly need to change things around, but we still believe that we can do that.
Michael, you've been part of previous CSK dressing rooms, both as a player and as a support staff. So and even some of the more successful CSK teams over the past have lost. Just in terms of that, how bad a loss is this, and what are the kind of things that you tell your players in dressing room after going back?
Yeah, well, this one hurts a lot. I mean, it really does. I said earlier, the players are hurting. The support staff, we're hurting, and as I said earlier, the fans, I'm sure, are hurting with that one as well. This is a time where you really find out who are your true supporters. And I just know Stephen Fleming, obviously, he is a great coach. He will really, and MS Dhoni's obviously he's been a great captain for a long time as well. Ruturaj is still going to be around the team. I think they'll really try and bring this team as tight and as close together, make sure there's no fractures, make sure we still are sticking tight, because I'm sure we're going to cop plenty of criticism from the outside, and look, we deserve it. We haven't performed as well as we would have liked so far in the tournament, but from an internal side of things, we've got to stick really tight. We still believe we've got the talent in the dressing room to turn this around. It's going to take some hard work, no question about that, but we're going to find out who our true supporters are, the ones that really stick with us. The fans we have for the Chennai Super Kings have been absolutely phenomenal ever since day one, really. We hope that they continue to keep turning out and supporting us, and I know the guys will be really hurting from this and will want to turn it around for the fans. As much for the dressing room and for each other as well, but more for the fans, because they have stuck tight through us with us for a lot of the good times, and we hope that they stick with us now when things haven't quite gone to plan just yet.
MS mentioned at the toss about Gaikwat's abilities with the bat, about how he manages to score a quick strike rate by playing orthodox cricket shots. Was it a facet of the game that was missing in the batting performance today, and how is the team looking to rectify that part?
Without doubt. I mean, I think, in my view, he's one of India's best players. I'd love to see him in Indian colours a lot more than what he has already. And the reason for that is that he's such a classy player. He's got all the skills, all the shots, but he's also got a great cricket brain. He understands when to attack, when to maybe defend. He understands how to manipulate the field. And that's why we'll certainly be tapping into some of that knowledge with some of our other younger players, that we're trying to improve their batsmanship skills, knowing the right times to when to go, who to go against, when's the times just to sort of maybe pull back a little bit. Those cricket smarts that have been synonymous with CSK over many, many years. Ruturaj, he certainly embodies a lot of those qualities. So it's a massive loss for us, no question about that. You almost can't replace a Ruturaj for us, but we want to tap into his knowledge to help the development of some of the other guys as well.
Is it possible CSK can make playoffs from this position? It's
still possible, of course. We need to play a lot better. There's no question about that. As I said earlier, I'll be the first to acknowledge we haven't played consistently good cricket so far in the tournament. So we need to turn it around. But of course, we have the belief that we have the talent in the room and the expertise to still make it through to the playoffs. So that's what we'll be working very hard towards. But we've got to change the momentum and get our confidence back as quick as we can.
Last one. Previously Rachin has spoken a lot about how much he idolizes you. Last 2 seasons, watching him, he's shown that he has a potential, but it appears from outside like he's struggling to sort of get used to the nature of the surface or whatever it is. So, just talk about his development, how he's been developing into the batsman that he wants to be, because times where he looks like he's tries to overhit the ball as well. Sometimes it comes across from outside. So just.
I love working with Rachin. I think he's a fantastic player, and he's still a young player. I think he's taken some really good strides from where he was last year in his T20 cricket to where he is this year. He's very clear on his process and how he wants to go about it, and I think he's definitely gone up a bit. He's made a big jump in his T20 batting already. He'll only get better and better the more he plays. But it's easy to look at the results. And I still think his results have been okay so far. Every batsman's going to miss out every now and then. His results have been okay, but I'm more interested in his process and his mindset and his thinking. And he's become a lot more consistent with his process, and he's a lot more consistent with his thinking. So if he continues to maintain that, then I believe there's going to be some very good, consistent performances for CSK for a long time. I mean, is he the finished product? No, of course not. You know, he's still a young player. He's still developing. But I have seen a lot of improvement in him from this time last year to this time this year, and we just obviously hope that trajectory continues.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. This is Ashok Venugopal from 29 Plus. How was the wicket like today? I mean, see, I went to CSK batters were deceived by the bounce and some by the turn. So how was the wicket today?
Obviously, when we bowled, it seemed a lot slower. Obviously gripped a bit. And I think our bowlers really enjoyed that. Obviously, that's why we got guys like Jinx and Mo who have been here before, and they kind of knew that. So I think that's why the selectors played an extra spinner. And saying that, I do think the second innings it got slightly better. It did come on a bit better, or at least that's what I felt. So yeah, that's pretty much how I played. Started off slow and just got better and better during the innings went on.
Want to go next? Please.
Quinton, you have been seeing Sunil Narine for a while now. How is it like keeping him and like the bowler that he still is? What makes him so special, and how if you can just talk about this spin duo of Narine and Varun together, how does it make them special, and what are Narine's batting also, because you're opening?
I think the two of them, the big thing that the value that they bring is the amount of variations they bring. Obviously both of them are mystery spinners, so it's always mixing it up. I think it's hard to line up certain spin bowlers like that, because you never know what you're going to get. And on top of that, having that amount of skill, it's the areas they bowl. I think Sunny prides himself on the areas that he bowls, and so is Varun. They're always working on their games, always trying to get better. So, and obviously Sunny, when he bats, he brings the X factor. I think every bowling lineup knows he's going to come hard, and you know he practices really hard. He's always at practices. I don't think he's missed a practice, even optional practices. So he really does work on it, and you know when it comes off, it's great. Means the team's going to get off to a flyer. So, you know, he really does bring that X factor at the top.
I went like today in the chase, you got off to a flyer as well, and you had that one great innings against Zara previously, I think. So, can you just talk about your power play approach when you bat with Sunil, like how you could go about it?
Playing with Sunil, it's initially trying to, because I'll take the first ball of the innings most of the time, if not every time. It's just as soon as, because he likes to go from ball one, I'll just face one or two balls, I'll give him the info of what's happening, so he's just got a bit more of a clue what's going on. And initially it's pretty easy, you know, just trying to get him on strike, because you know he's going to have a crack from ball one, and then once I can find my feet, then I'll just try and keep up with the momentum that he's going on. So that's pretty much what it's like playing with him.
Hi Quinton. Going to the middle overs today, apart from the two spinners that obviously did very well, Harshit Rana's spell really stood out. And what kind of threat do you think he is in this middle over space, helping that when the spin choke from the two spinners come in, he too contributes with the slow balls into the pitch. So what is his role like in the league?
I think because he's our big fast bowler, we try really bowl him as a wicket taker. Obviously it depends on the scenario that we face. Sometimes I think with the new ball, strike up very early, obviously that's what he generally does. Then maybe today we thought, okay, just go with the spinner to start off, and then he'll come in, and then that's his job, is to come in and make sure always break a wicket, or when wicket is broken to come on and just try and keep getting wickets. And you know, and he bowled with aggression tonight, which is really nice. He hit the deck hard, used his slow ball really well. He's got a really good slow ball, so I think that's what he doesn't have one set. We're not trying to give him one set plan. We want to give him as many chances he can to pick up wickets for the team, even though we got the two spinners. But as a main fast bowler, we're going to get to certain wickets or stadiums where we're going to need our big fast bowler to stand up and really do what he did tonight. So we try and mix it up with him, So that's pretty much what it is. There's not just one thing.
Last one.
Among Sunil and Varun, who was tough to keep wickets to, and why?
To be honest, none of them. I've been playing against them and firstly, this is my first time playing with them, but I've been playing against them for quite a while. So I pick them pretty easily. So that's pretty much that. I pretty much know exactly what they're going to bowl and when and to which batter, because I also, as a keeper, I sit in the bowlers' meetings. So I kind of know what's going to happen. So it's pretty simple. I'll just make sure to just take the catches.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Vinny.